and let's do our top 5 video games of 2014.
What? Top 5 video games?
And I know Brendan has a list for this one. So, Brendan, why don't you start us off? Give us your 5 through 1. 2. Yeah, don't do 1. We're going to save 1 for last. 5 through 2.
Okay. At number 5,
Okay.
Child of Light, released for Windows, PlayStation Network, PS4, Wii U, Xbox BLA, and Xbox
Released for everything.
One. It was released for a lot of stuff. It was a downloadable game. It was considered an indie game, but it was by Ubisoft. But their indie game division of Ubisoft.
So, major developer, indie game division. Yeah, that makes... Yeah. Well,
Either way,
it was a good game.
It was a good game. Yes.
Yeah,
it was I got it and it was good. The only drawback I got it for the Wii U. I thought they could have utilized the Wiimotes more because they allow a second player to control this one creature that flies around the screen. I thought they could have done that with the motion sensing or whatever, and instead they're just like, no, we're gonna just use this as a crosspad. You move around like a crossbit. I'm like, yeah, okay, fine, guys, whatever. But otherwise, it was good story, cool artwork, nice battle mechanics that have you doing like several things at once and managing a timeline and things like that. So it was a pretty cool game.
Okay.
Okay, and number 4 on the list is going to be Destiny.
Destiny, number 4, huh?
Now, a lot of people didn't care for Destiny, or it got a lot of flack. I think it honestly got a lot of flack because it was hyped really, really high, and what it turned out was, it was a good game.
Yeah.
It was, like, I'm calling number 4. It was a good shooter game. I haven't seen, personally, a shooter game that I liked that much on other than Halo, and this is what it was. It was essentially Halo, but not on Xbox, which was cool because I don't have an Xbox right now.
Yeah.
And just a few different things, going more online features and everything. And what I played of it was fun. It was solid. I didn't see anything major problems. I've heard some people have seen some major problems, but I didn't see any major problems.
Yeah, I heard that people didn't like the story. It wasn't in depth enough.
Whatever. I don't care about the story. I want to shoot some stuff.
I do
okay.
care.
I want a good futuristic shooter.
That's what you got the game for. You didn't get the game for the story. That's for sure.
Exactly.
It gave you a solid shooter. So, all right, move us on to number 3.
3 now is going to be Smash Brothers for the Wii U. Which came out, I don't know, a month ago. Got that. It's really cool. They did the battle mechanics really good. It's mostly what you expect from Smash Brothers, but with more characters, more stuff. They added in a whole bunch of different game modes that worked pretty well.
And I heard there's an 8-player Smash mode now.
Yes, there is an 8-player Smash mode,
awesome.
and you play 8-player in classic mode and everything. Yeah, it gets really crazy. And they had to make levels significantly larger, some levels significantly larger to accommodate it.
Because it just goes 4 characters, yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, the only problem with that is it takes some getting used to because there's just so much going on at once when there's 8 people on the screen doing stuff.
But you're saying it was worth the wait because we did wait a long time for that one.
Yeah, and also introduced the Amiibo feature, which I guess has been working out for Nintendo, because I was at Target the other day. They had none anywhere. I'm talking like after Christmas, after they've restocked whatever, but none. Because they've sold out. And a lot of places have sold out of those Amiibos. And we even got some of them, and it adds some features to other games, allows you to fight against your Amiibos. You train them up in Smash Brothers, and they level up, and actually now mine are better than me because they fight each other. But anyway, so that was Smash Brothers for the Wii U. A good solid entry in a really fun series.
All right, so we're moving on to your number 2, huh?
Now it's going to sound like a trend here. Mario Kart 8, which came out mid-year.
I bet you
again,
I can ruin number 1, but I won't. But go ahead.
Yeah. Again here, though, another entry in a longer-standing series from Nintendo, but this one really makes up for previous ones. And honestly, I didn't care about Mario Kart since the very first one on Super Nintendo. Now, a lot of people think
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and a lot of people liked the N64 one a lot. I was fine with it. I didn't get into it that much, though.
I also like the GameCube one.
Yeah, I didn't hate any of them. I just didn't get into any of those. Mario Kart 8 came out. We got it. I
And
started
is it
playing
really
it.
the eighth one? I can't. Super
Yeah.
Nintendo, 64, GameCube, Wii. That's only four.
They also had a couple on. They had like one on the DS. They had Mario Kart 7 was on the
Okay.
DS,
Gotcha. Okay.
and I think they had a Game Boy Advance one or something in there.
Okay.
But yeah, very good. The gameplay mechanics are tight as always. Probably better than usual. The level designs are better than they have been in a little while. They balance things better with the new weapons they put in, including the ability to get rid of the blue shell. Just great all around. Like I just like couldn't stop playing it for a while. I was like, I gotta get gold on everything. Gotta keep doing this. Oh, there's enough challenge to get at the higher levels, and online play was very good. I was surprised. I think I may have had connection problems once, maybe
So
twice.
they streamlined that because that was a big problem with the Wii was
Yeah,
connecting with other people to
that was
play. So
definitely in this show. That was good for it to show off that the new Nintendo network is pretty solid.
all right, well,
It's
so
really good.
all right. And so what's your number one?
I thought
Actually,
we
let
were.
me do.
Oh
No,
yeah,
no, you're right. I almost tricked you into giving up your number one, but I really didn't just forget not to ask your number one. So let's start off with mine. I'll give out some honorable mentions real quick. Number one, Shadow of Mordor was an honorable mention, just because I don't really have much experience with the game, but it looked so amazing. I want to play it so bad. I want to play it
yeah.
so bad.
I'll
It
throw
just
out
looked
an
awesome.
honorable mention that I didn't get to play, so I didn't put it on, but looked pretty good. Or was the Infamous games that came out, like
Yeah,
Seventh
Infamous
Son?
Second Son I heard was pretty cool. And then my other honorable mention was Final Fantasy X HD Remastered. That was a lot of fun. I don't think it belongs on the 2014 list because it's really just a rehash of the same exact game. A little bit shinier though. So that's. But I really enjoyed it. I played that for like a month. So yeah, it was a great game. But let's jump into my number five. I'm actually going with the same one Brennan had as his number two. That's Mario Kart. Thought it was a lot of fun. I didn't play it very much. I played it a couple times with Brendan, but it was very fun. It just is one of those games where it's a traditional couch co-op, and now they're expanding it out to everybody. So that's something that it brings you back to our Super Nintendo days, where you're like, okay, I know the shortcuts. It's through the beach, So yeah, I really had fun playing that game. So. Then moving on to my number four, another game that unfortunately I haven't played as much as I'd like to, but it's Dragon Age Inquisition. That game is awesome. I love Dragon Age 1. I hated Dragon Age 2. Nah, alright, hate is a strong word. Really disliked Dragon Age 2 because it just ruined it. And then what they did was they said, okay, there was some good parts to Dragon Age 2. Like, they streamlined the storytelling a little bit better, gave you more of a main character that you could really rally behind. And they brought back some of the combat system. It's kind of like if you look at BioWare's other trilogy, Mass Effect. It's almost like Mass Effect 2, Dragon Age Inquisition. They just were like, we're just going to make an amazing game. We're never going to make a game this good in this series again, but here you go. And they did it with Inquisition. The combat system's awesome, the strategy, the characters, everything, the open worldness. It's very vibrant, and it's just an awesome game. So check it out if you haven't. Then moving on to my number three, it is an indie game. It's called Binding of Isaac 2 Rebirth. This was a very interesting game. You can get it on like Steam. I don't think it's on like the Xbox Lives or anything like this. And let me tell you my experience with this game. So a coworker of mine who no longer works with me was telling me about this game, and he's like, hey, do you want to play it? I was like, yeah. So I was working at this store, and it was kind of slow, so he just shows up randomly one day, plops down his laptop in front of me, opens it up, and says, here you go, I'll be back in a couple hours to get it. Well, I look up like 4 hours later, and he's coming back in the door. He's like, has it been good? I was like, dude, you've only been gone for 20 minutes. He's like, no, I've been gone for like 4 hours. I was like, wow. So just imagine kind of a Zelda feel where you're going through from room to room with the most twisted, sick, and crazy weapons you can think of, and these weird enemies. I'll just put it this way. Your main weapon is your tears, because you cry a lot, I guess. But then you power them up by like putting toothpicks in your eyes. Yeah, think about that. Very weird, but very fun. If you have a chance to play that game, Binding of Isaac is really, yeah, it's crazy. It's off the wall. It's out there, but it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And the first time you can make a deal with the devil, you can trade away a couple hearts, but get a power up. It's worth it. It is worth it. So,
Okay, that sounds cool. All right.
yeah, like I said, it's crazy. It's out there. but it's a lot of fun. So my number 2 game was Watch Dogs. That game was awesome. I love open world games. I would have put GTA 5 on this list, but I think that came out like November of last year, so it couldn't quite make it. But Watch Dogs was a lot of fun. Didn't quite live up to the hype. Everybody was saying that this is going to be the greatest game of all time ever, and it wasn't. But it was a very, very entertaining game. I loved playing through the whole game. I even did a lot of the little side missions, a lot of the little things that I don't normally do in a video game. I took the time to go through and say, okay, I'm going to hack all these cameras. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this, just because it was fun doing. Also, very good driving mechanics, fun shooting mechanics, and that's really important for an open world game. So, and I have played GTA 5, and I want to say that Grand Theft Auto 5, the driving and the shooting's not as good as it was in Watch Dogs. Now, the characters are a little bit more fun in GTA 5, but I like the gameplay mechanics of Watch Dogs a little bit better. So, another great one to check it out. But that brings us to our number 1 games. Brendan, go ahead and give us your number 1 game of the year.
It's going to be Hyrule Warriors.
Huh. Is that your number 1 game or your wife's number 1 game?
You know, honestly, it's mine as well. That's probably the game I've played the most since we got it, and it's a lot of fun. It's a game that like keeps on giving. Here, now it was a little bit of a surprise how much my wife liked it. I figured she was going to like it, but she became obsessed with it.
Okay, well,
I didn't become quite so obsessed, but it was. It's like in the last couple years, I got interested in the Dynasty Warriors games, like I've mentioned before on the show, and I really like Zelda games, and this was Zelda Dynasty Warriors. Like, hey, this is going to be that should be pretty fun, and it's probably the best of the Dynasty Warriors games that I've played, and solid with Zelda stuff going on. I really liked the legend mode, actually, the story mode. I thought that was really well done. After I beat that, with going through the adventure mode, I don't like the adventure mode as much, even though it's the bigger chunk of the game. So that's why you don't see me talking about it as much anymore, because I already beat my favorite part of the game, which is legend mode. But the adventure mode is really good, and it gets pretty difficult to the point that like the outer bounds of it, you really need 2 people, at least if you're not an amazing gamer. Like, I'm not amazing at it, so but kind of need 2 people to do it.
Yeah, and I played it with you. I played it with you a little bit. Yeah. It was fun,
and I love that they do 2-player very well. Yeah, 2-player on the couch very well.
That's important. So yeah, it was a fun game. I did enjoy it as well. So
yeah, and they keep adding weapons and everything. So
my number 1 game of the year has already been said. It was on your list, but I'm gonna go with Destiny as my number 1 game of the year, just because I'm really into those shooters and the online shooters, and it was a lot of fun, and it kind of combined 2 of my favorite loves of just shooting people in the face with a shotgun and also leveling up my gear. So, it's a lot of fun stuff. I'm a big loot hoarder like Skyrim. I love to go and just collect everything and just put it all in a chest and never sell it and just keep it. And you can kind of do that with Destiny. But then I also like to jump around and shoot people, and the multiplayer was just like Halo. It was Halo, to a T, because, it was made by Bungie. Guys who made Halo. But then they add extra elements, like you level up your armor and stuff like that. You level up your guns. You can go on raids and stuff like that. So it was a pretty cool combination. I would almost call it the first hybrid, kind of, MMO / first-person shooter. So, and there might be other ones out there, but this is the first one that did it really well. Now, a lot of people did complain, oh, the story's not that great. Well, okay, fine. Story levels are not that long. You are correct. There's probably about 10 to 12 hours of story gameplay in it. But there's 100 hours of everything else in there, so what more can you ask from a game? And they keep bringing out more and more stuff. So I look forward to playing this game for longer in the future, and hopefully I'll get my PS4. And the other great thing about this game was I downloaded it for my PS3, and so whenever I get a PS4, I can get a free digital copy of it for my PS4 as well. Awesome. Awesome. So, I don't know, let us know what your favorite games of 2014 were. Was there anything we missed? Hit us up, comments down below, of course, at What's My Face on Twitter, Google+, Facebook, always good ways of getting a hold of us.